Before this video starts, I want to reiterate that this guide is for solely people who want to execute the entire bomb site alone without the help of anyone. Usually, that means you are in a solo queue scenario and you're just going to ask your teammates to drop you smokes. So, for the A bomb site as a T side, you want to come over here to this post right over here, the second one from the front of the train. You want to ask your teammates to drop you smokes right over here, and you're going to throw them in this order. You see this dot right over here? Right at that dot under this arch, you're going to aim there, throw that first one. That's going to be your pop dog smoke. The second one, you'll throw the basic standard Ivy smoke, the Ivy main entrance smoke. And then the second one, or the third one you're going to throw, is look for this white dot. So if you're looking at this roof, notice how all these little steel tips are gray, except for this one. So you want to look for the gray one, or the one that's white, top right, at the very edge of this tile. That's the third one you're going to throw. So, putting it all together.
Throwing smoke. Smoking. Throwing smoke.
And what that's going to do is create and execute where all the smokes land around the same time. And I hate to say this, but due to the nature of how close the A bomb site is, A main is, you are not going to have enough time to throw flashbangs for your team. So, this is when I recommend, something very rarely I recommend, you're going to want a friend to post up right over here along with your smokes. You want to have your teammate come over here, get stuck in this corner on top of the dumpster. Look for these two splotches of black on the white paint. We're going to look for the right splotch, and then in the middle of the very left line, right over here. I want to jump throw. What that's going to do is it's going to land on top of this little railing right over here. Completely fine for all of your teammates, but if we were to rethrow, full white's pretty much anyone looking towards A main. Now, as for the B bomb site, there's not really much you need to do. If you want to look at the very bare minimum, what you want to do is you want to come up right here to this pillar, and I want to look at this star, right? Bottom right of the star, crouch down, and just left click. What that's going to do is it's going to land on top of this train so that the smoke is a little bit higher up and the people on top of this box cannot see into main, or lower, I should say. So that's pretty much the least you need to know. If you want to make an actual full execute, which is not actually much harder, what you want to do is you want to come up to this pillar right here, get stuck on the right side of this pillar, and we're going to look for this bump right over here, so the bottom left of the lamp. And to the right of this, you see this little piece that's sticking out? We're going to aim right at the top of that, where our crosshair meets this gray wooden beam in the back. So if we were to pull out my crosshair, you can see that the center of my crosshair should be on the gray beam, right? But still lined up to the middle of this little piece that's sticking out, if that even makes sense. Right over here is the general area you want to be aiming your grenade. So left click throw that. The next one you're going to throw right around here. Anywhere along this beam will work perfectly fine. It's a very generous one, unlike this one. And the very last thing you're going to want to do is looking at the wall. You guys see how there's these little rectangles, I guess? Like there's this one rectangle here. It's like two rectangles here. Z is right underneath this second set of rectangles. So what you're going to want to do is pull out your Molotov, aim a little bit higher around here, and then run until the bottom of your screen passes by this bar here, passes by the top of this bar. So you would walk forward until like right over here and then release. So putting it all together, it's going to look something along the lines of this.
Deploying smoke shield. Deploying smoke shield. Laying down some fire.
And what that's going to do is it's going to make sure the molly lands perfectly inside of Z. It's going to give your teammates a very nice pathway onto the bomb site to plant. This smoke is a little, a little strange, but that's the price we pay for speed and, the comfort of doing the entire execute from one spot. As for the pop flash, same spot, right? After you throw your Molotov, you're going to want to come back to the exact same spot, get stuck in the same corner at this wooden beam. So it's going to be the bottom right of this window at this wooden beam. You're going to want to line up right in the center of this. You see there's the darker side and then the lighter side. You're gonna want to get right in the center of it, and then up until you're in the middle of this beam, right? So right over here is about where you want to aim. And the reason why it's so precise is because jump throwing it, you're gonna notice it lands right over here on the windowsill. And if we were to just rethrow that, notice how your teammates barely gets flashbang, but anyone playing in the heaven position is going to really feel that flashbang. So as for the CT side, the utility gets a little bit more complicated because Train is one of those maps where the CT spawns are kind of all over the place. You can have a spawn that's close to Ivy, close to Z, that's like all the way back there for whatever reason. You can also get really unlucky and spawn right over here as well. So, depending on your spawn, if you have the Ivy spawn and you're holding the A bomb site, what you're going to want to do is go through Ivy with your Molotov out in hand, and as you're coming out, as you're stepping from the green onto this little gray area, you're going to want to aim a little bit above the Olafmeister set of crates, like this, and you just want to throw as you're running. What that's going to do is it's going to pretty much perfectly cover up a main. Now, other pieces of supporting utility you can throw is maybe as you're still running, middle click a smoke right over here onto red train to make sure they can't push past. And if you were to spawn closer to Z, what you're going to want to do is same thing, hold out a Molotov, and first thing you want to do is accept that your life is just harder. This is a little bit more precise. So what you're going to want to do is, you see this window that's lit up out of the 3 windows here? You're going to want to aim a little bit above that, high up into the ground. And as you're running, just left click throw. It's a little bit less forgiving than the Ivy one, depending on, like, you know, how good you are at aiming at this small side of the crates. But, you know, it's still doable. Just as you're running, aim a little bit above that, and just left click throw. Sometimes it's gonna land in the air like that because I just suck, and because I just came up with it today. But you know, as you keep on doing it over and over, I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. Hold on, can I get the hang of it? Yeah. Just cannot. Okay, there we go. So yeah, just play around with it, see how it goes. Definitely, Ivy is the easier one to throw. And if you're coming out of Z, another piece of supporting utility you can throw is just like middle click it over here, just so the T's can't push through here onto E-box. As for the B players, I mean, your job is pretty easy. All you gotta do is just chuck a smoke in this general direction, and you're pretty much set to go. If you want to be really safe, I mean, you can have like another smoke thrown up there to cover up upper. But that's, you know, completely overkill in my opinion. Now here's a bonus lineup. This one's very difficult, probably the most difficult one out of the video. Like, out of every single train lineup you're gonna see. Now, if you're the Ivy player, like the exclusive Ivy player, what you're gonna want to do is, that was a really hard one, all right? I want you to bear with me. The margin of error starts from this hallway and ends right over here. Very small margin of error. See? Very tiny. You guys can see it's very tiny. I mean, it's like 10 times, it's like 30 times the player size. What you're going to want to do is, all right, once again, bear with me. It's really precise. Might take you a long time to master this.